When those forest trees are created, I'm going to create them into what are called blocks. And then from there, I'm going to place them in specific points around my landscape area. I'm going to zoom up in this blank area here to draw my 4 trees. I'm also going to change from my pavement layer to my tree layer. Simply single left click on the down triangle and select tree to make sure your tree layer is active. I'm going to create 4 separate circles. Single left click in the blank screen, and my radius is going to be 5 feet, 5 and the foot symbol, and select enter. I'm going to do this 3 more times, not by clicking on the circle, but by using my copy option. Copy the circle, select enter, and copy the circle 3 more times. I'm going to use my line command and begin drawing a oak branch. Down here, you can see that my object snap is active because it's light blue, as are my other options down here. If I single left click on my line and I move just close to the outside of my circle, you can see that the center is active. If I left click, you can see that the line automatically sticks to the outside. If I'm going to draw a branch and I single left click just to draw a very small part of it, and I move to the outside of my circle, you'll be able to see the circle popping up back in the center of my big 5-foot circle. If I left click, it's going to snap back. I'm going to select escape. I'm going to turn off my object snap by simply single left clicking and deactivate it. I don't want to forget that I deactivated it when I go on to some of my next trees. I also want to deselect reference snaps and my polar tracking. If I single left click, I'm in free roam now to be able to select about here to represent my branch. And you can see my green lock-in lines from my polar tracking are gone. If I single left click on my polar tracking, you can see that the lines reappear. Also, if I single left click on my object snap, you can see my apertures pop back up. Endpoint, center, center, and even midpoint. I'm going to turn these off and start drawing a branch that represents part of an oak tree. Once you're done with one branch of your oak tree, it should look something like this. You don't need to draw all the branches out. We're going to use a different type of array instead of a rectangular array, like we did with all your posts, fence, deck, your patio stones, and so on. We're going to use what's called a polar array, which is basically going to take what you have one of and spin it, in our case, 360-degree area. Underneath modify by your rectangular array is your polar array. Single left click on polar array. This is where the front drag and back drag are very important. I'm going to anticipate a box from here to here. I'm not going to drag a box, I'm just going to single left click and let go of my left mouse button and capture my whole branch in one box. Left click to drop, and you can see they're highlighted. The array asks me to select more objects. If this is my selection, I want to select Enter. The center point is going to be the middle of your circle, or center of your circle. So you want to make sure that your object snap is back on. Single left click on Object Snap. When I hover over, my end point of the line, or center of my circle, is already active. Single left click, and you can see my branch spins around in 360 degrees. The number of items for your branch, we are going to select 7. Single left click in your blank screen. If you're happy with your oak tree, hit Close Array, and you now have your oak tree. File, Save As, Landscape, Save, Yes, Replace.